This is a bit of a change of pace. This is not my car, this is my wife's car, and I'm gonna do a quick oil change. This will serve mainly as documentation if someone else in my family needs to do an oil change. We just got in from a trip and I cleared out the garage so that we could drive it up onto the ramps. I got my drain pan ready, so let's go start the oil draining. Under the car on the passenger side, there is an access panel on the undercarriage here, and it has a screw there, fastener there, and one there, and there that you need to remove. Notice the camera angle was kind of wonky, so I'm going to show you a picture as well. Now I'm doing this when the car is still warm. It allows the oil to flow a little better. Alright, so what's special about this oil change is that I have a Fumoto valve installed. It's a quick drain oil valve that my wife really likes, and I need to install on my other cars. It makes the oil changes a lot easier. So I get my drain pan ready, and all I gotta do to get it draining is to pull down on the lever and rotate. And with that, I'm gonna let it drain, run to the store real quick, and I will be right back. I took a quick trip to the store to pick up the filter and the oil, so now I can continue. So the oil's been draining for 20 or 30 minutes. It is now to a slow drip. So I'm going to close the valve and clean it up. And now I'm going to remove the oil filter. This can get messy, but lately I've had good luck. Let's see. Now if oil starts to come out, I'm just going to let it run. So the pan is still beneath it, catching the oil that comes from the oil filter housing. It's always a good idea to have gloves. There you go, so the oil filter is removed. So now I'm going to prep the new filter with a thin coat of oil on the gasket. Oops. Get a little bit on your finger and just a thin coating such that it doesn't bind on the oil filter housing when you tighten it. Now I gotta wipe up this mess. So now you want to wipe down where the oil filter meets the oil filter housing. You want it to be perfectly clean, or as clean as you can make it. Because sometimes older cars have stains, but you get the idea. You want a great surface for the seal. And then get the new filter, turn it till it stops. And if I remember correctly, this one doesn't even allow you to make a full turn. It'll stop. Let's see. Yeah, it stops after about a half or 2/3 of a turn. And I've never had it leak, so that's how you put the filter back on. And now we're done under the car. Just gonna make sure everything's clean and put the cover back on, and we can just fill up the oil. I would like to briefly talk about the Fumoto valve that I have installed on my wife's car. These things are great. They replace your normal drain plug, and if you look, they have a little gasket between the valve and the oil pan, and they've held up pretty well. I haven't had one leak. And this valve, to release it, you pull down on the tab and then push it that way, and that allows the oil to drain. I love these things. They make the number of tools you have to use for an oil change a lot less. They're cleaner and they're very convenient. So every chance I get, I put one of these on my cars. Now all we have to do is fill up the oil. And this car calls for 4.8 quarts of 0W20. So that's what it's gonna get. So I'm going to empty it until I am down below this 0.5 mark, and that's usually good, or rather halfway between 0.5 and 0. I'm going to try not to spill it. Let's see. Alright, I don't know if you can see that, but I'm just a shade under just a shade under 0.5, so I'm gonna give it a little more. Maybe it tastes more. Alright. And this is one of the few times I didn't spill any. Usually don't have big spills, but a drip or two here and there. Alright, now we can go reset the car's computer. Although we've changed the oil, you still see the maintenance wrench is still illuminated. So we have to reset the oil change monitor. So on this car, you go over to, well, from the home screen, you go to Applications, Vehicle Status Monitor, select Maintenance, go down to Oil Change, and then Reset. Yes, I'm sure. So now it's reset. It looks like we had a little bit to go on that oil, but now it is reset. And with that, the oil change is done. I'm gonna let this oil settle into the container overnight. And at some point later this week, I'll dispose of it at a local Advanced or AutoZone. After I let it run for a while, I'll check the oil when it's on level ground. But we've done so many oil changes on this car that I pretty much know that we're good to go. So that's it. If you would like to see how I maintain, repair, and upgrade my other cars, which are a 99 Golf, a 95 Civic Coupe, and an 89 Chevy truck, check out my other videos. Thanks for watching. Take care.